Hey guys, Rush here. For today's video, we're going to work on the second part of our beginner guide series, which will be going over the topic of the different types of storage units and Save the World, as well as crafting your weapon and traps, how to get the schematics for it, as well as evolving them. Now, if you haven't watched part 1, I will be linking that in the description, and same as part 1, I will be putting down the timestamps to allow you guys to navigate with ease on the topic that you want to learn about. Just before we move on to that, the clip that you're seeing here is actually my Horde Bash base. So if you'd like a guide of sorts for Horde Bash, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I might consider making one. Now the clip you're about to hear is actually from within the game. So you might notice the volume or the quality will change, and that would be normal. I'm sorry if it actually shifted like that, but again, I just want you to be aware before it happens, okay? Alright, just because that was taken within the game, I quickly want to add in an info. It will make sense after you watch the video, but this info will be directed towards the resources. It will contain everything that you do not use within a mission. So upgrading your traps, upgrading your weapons, upgrading your heroes, your schematics, that will all be in the resources tab. I failed to mention that, and it might make things confusing for some people. That's why I wanted to add it in here. Anyway, the volume and the quality might shift. Just watch out for that. Here we go. So going over the topic of storage units, there are two major ones, which is in mission and off mission, both of which can be located in the armory from your menu, which is right here. Now, the in-mission ones are composed of two things, the backpack and the storage. The backpack houses any items that you have collected within the mission, which includes the guns you pick up within the mission, the wood, brick, metal, and your crafting materials. Now, more on that later. The storage, on the other hand, right here, is typically your generic game lockers, wherein you can place any items that you feel you won't need immediately but don't want to discard. Now, aside from the menu, you can also access this one while you're in the Storm Shield defense. Now, I just personally use this a lot for, as you can see here, resources as well as crafting materials, but nothing more than that. Now, going back to the armory, everything else that isn't your backpack and storage will be considered as off mission. Now, you can do all the prep work in here before landing in a mission. I'll be giving the heroes, the collection book, the transform, defenders, and survivors a more in-depth explanation and a separate video, which I'll be linking in the description as soon as it is available. But for resources, this is essentially the place where you can find materials that you need in order to improve a gun, a hero, or maybe a trap. For example, if I wanted to improve my guns or traps, then I'll need a schematic XP, and this is where I can find it, or at least this is the basic way I can find it. But if I wanted to take it a step higher and just go into schematics, use my Whisper Point 45, choose upgrade, we choose view evolution, then I can see right away how much schematic XP I'm gonna need to take it up one step higher, as mentioned before, and get it to 5-star. So all in all, I'm gonna need 13,750 schematic XP for that. Now we'll touch on that again later on, but for now, I'd like to move on to the next discussion, which is weapons and traps, how to craft them. Now we'll be doing this as a Q&A type of discussion. The first question I have here is, how do I get a gun? Now there's two ways of doing this. One, you can loot chests within missions, and two, you can craft it yourself using schematics. These are the ones we call out as schematics. They're the blueprints of your weapons, and to build them, you're going to need the materials located on the upper left corner. For the levels 1 to 10, it's pretty easy to find. You're going to be finding these materials while you're in Stonewood. So the next question is, how do I get the schematics? And I will admit that that is a pretty good question, because there are 4 ways that you can do this. And I'll start off, I guess, with the easiest one, moving on to the most difficult, but you know, it's still achievable even though it's the most difficult one. So the first way is through llamas, and you can find that under loot, pinatas, and yeah, you can just choose any llama that you have here. Now the second method is using transform keys. The transform keys can be found under armory and choose transform. Again, I'll be going in depth on that. But ultimately there are missions that grant you the transform key that you need in order to use it in the transform section of your armory. The third one, as you can see here, is through a mission. If you finish this mission, then you can get that specific schematic right there, which is Copper Forcebill Slugger 2000. The fourth method is by killing off the epic mini bosses through missions. So this mission says on the left side that there is an epic mini boss there. If I can kill him, he'll drop a schematic cache, which could be rare, could be epic or legendary. Now from here there is another method which I forgot to mention, it that will be through the event store. You can just grind out the missions, specifically the Storm Shield defenses, and you can easily get these. Now the wall probe would be a pretty good one, but I'm still saving up for it. You can also get these ones, the Copper Siege Breaker, through the daily coins. And the daily coins can be farmed by doing daily quests. So yeah. Alright, the next question is, I don't want to spend V-Bucks. How can I get a llama? A common misconception in this game is that llamas have to be bought with cold hard cash, and that is absolutely false. You can earn them in-game as well. It's actually pretty surprising how much you can get by simply playing the game. And I'm not just talking about the event llamas that you can see here under pinatas in the middle. I'm also talking about mini llamas or just regular llamas that you can get by filling up your collection buck. Now, I don't have any right now, but yeah, there are ones that you can get from there as well. The collection book is also part of the game, and again, we'll be discussing that in depth with as much detail as I can throw in there, because you have to be careful of that. You don't want to be doing that too early, or else you might regret it. The next question that we have here would be, how do I improve my guns? And we touched on that briefly earlier, but let's get a more concise example. So the Razor, this is just a rare schematic, and I was preparing this for Horde Bash because I didn't know what to expect yet. But let's say it's a level 1 weapon like the Bald Eagle here. I will need to level the Bald Eagle all the way to level 10, and to do that I'm going to need schematic XP. This one, in order to jump from level 1 to level 2, I need 300 schematic XP. Pretty easy, but it does go up every time you do that. I have a good stack in there, but I don't want to use it yet because I'm saving up. I'm going to be buying the Ultimate Edition tomorrow, and I'm going to be upgrading my Nocturna for that. But yeah, if, say for example, we manage to upgrade the weapon all the way to level 10, then the next step is to evolve it. Now, I don't recommend doing this quite rapidly because I need you to look at the top left corner first. Those are the materials you're going to need once you evolve this. Check your inventory first. Check your resources. Double check it. See if you have enough to actually craft at least 3 guns before you do this. Okay? If you have the resources for at least 3 guns, then you're all set. Now, the reason I say that is because there's a durability on the weapon, of course. As you can see there, this one is only 190. So, it will break pretty fast. But ultimately, once it breaks, at least I have a replacement. And, of course, I don't want to be running out of materials in a certain map if I can't get the required materials in there. One of the common examples of this is what people within Plankerton tend to upgrade their weapons from 2 stars to 3 stars. So I'm just trying to find a good example of it. Oh, right here. So the grill floor trap. Traps as well as weapons actually upgrade within the same concept, so you don't have to worry about this example. So choosing view evolution, it will require a different type of material. That material is pretty common once you reach the next stage, which is Canny Valley. So let me just start over on this one. So Stonewood would be between level 1 to 19. That's the basic maps. First one you start out with. Next to that is Plankerton, 50 to 46. And Canny Valley would be 40 to 70. In Plankerton, if you do missions within level 40 to 46, then you might have a slight chance of obtaining those materials. But it might not be enough, or it might not be much to actually craft three of the weapon that you need. So yeah, again, watch out for the materials that you need before you decide to upgrade the weapons, okay? So the column in the middle has 135% crit damage, reload speed, crit rating, the element fire, and all that. Those are what we call perks or rolls, okay? Now, the reason that matters is this will determine what kind of gun you have. So mine is mostly crit based. Now, let's say the next question goes as, I don't like the perks or rolls on my gun. How can I change it? I get it. RNG didn't roll in your favor, so you want to adjust it. That's fair. But to do this, you'll have to accomplish one little feat. And that is completing Storm Shield Defense 2 in Plankerton. Now, eventually you'll come across that anyway, so it's not going to be difficult, but once you manage to do that, it's going to be pretty good for you, because from there you'll have access to switching out the perks or rolls in your gun, therefore giving you a more flexible way of playing, because now you design how your gun works. Now again, this option is only available after you complete that mission, so try rushing it. Once you're there, you'll be able to swap out the perks however you want. So say instead of crit damage, I want the flat damage, then I can do that. But don't expect the slots to be the same for each one. So you can't do like 5 damages all in all. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, there will be a pretty good selection in here. So yeah, have fun and see what you get with this. For now, what I work with, since this gun actually does affliction damage, it just doesn't say in the description, but it does do affliction damage, I decided to use the 45% damage to afflicted targets on my last slot. But typically, here's how I do it. On the Siege Breaker, let's choose Modify Perks. This slot right here is random as well. You cannot change this to anything else. So ideally, the 5th slot would be anything that matches with the 6th, because they actually sync together. One other example I have for that would be where is it? Yeah, right here. So modify perks, we go here. The 6th slot is damage dealt with this weapon snares the target, so I had to choose the snare perk in order to sync up with this one. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty wasted slot. Anyway, that would be how you change the perks on it. I wish I could show you. It's just I didn't really want to touch anything just yet, because the materials that you need, named reperk, is pretty valuable, really. You can easily get these from missions, but in low amounts, so you're really gonna have to grind for it. Now, if you want to level that up, so using the deconstructor as an example, say I wanted to do a perk up from level 2 to level 3, I'm gonna need the rare perk up, and I can get that through missions from Canny Valley and above. But yeah, that's about the gist of how you can improve the gun and change the perk or rolls in your gun. But the whole concept revolves around, it applies to traps as well as melee weapons as well. So even my sword here will have those. I actually applied critical rating and crit damage on that as well. Not for me. It's actually for my defender, because she specializes in it. Now, that about does it for this video. For the next one, we'll be discussing the different heroes that I recommend. Maybe the top 3 subclasses for each one. But remember, every hero is viable in here. Every subclass has a function. It's just some have advantages over others. That's why there's rankings. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching all the way to this part of the video. As a surprise announcement, I'll be giving away either 2 battle passes for our battle royale, players, or a save the world code for those that don't have it yet once I reach 100 subscribers. Now, I'm praying that that's gonna happen before the end of July, just because it's still on sale. But if it doesn't, that's fine too. I can still afford it. Now, again, I'll be ending it here. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.